Hi, welcome to Sunshine Secret of OC. I'm your host, Lisa Husher. Today we're going to dive into the energies that move, inspire, make us laugh, make us cry, hopefully not cry too much. So sit back and relax and let's see what divine messages come through today. Today we have our gorgeous Erica Rose Sanders visiting with us, and you are, oh my gosh, how do I even, a lot of people know you from The Bachelor, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
The Bachelor Pad, and I think, was it Below Deck too?
Yeah, I did
Below
that.
Deck, and then you also are an attorney,
Yes,
like big time.
and a
And a
mother
mom,
of two
of course,
girls.
which is the most important thing.
Definitely.
And so you have a practice with
my
your
husband.
husband as well.
Yeah, we're law partners.
Do you focus more on, is it more family law or?
I started out doing I started out at a family law firm before I founded my own firm, and so I did that for a while, and then we moved into doing a lot of personal injury, working with injured clients. And I have my specialty in entertainment media law that I got out here at Southwestern in Koreatown. So don't do that as much in Texas, but that's why we're opening an office here.
Oh, okay.
So I can do some of that as well.
Well, congratulations. Yeah. I see that. I'm like going to jump right in because I can totally. So this is going to make you laugh. Oh, you're probably already like, oh, yeah, I do this. But has anybody ever told you that you would make a really good detective?
No one's ever told me that, but my mom actually used to work for a detective, and I feel like I am like a detective sometimes.
You have that where it's because you're so intuitive, but you're also unassuming.
Right.
So you would be like the one to slide in a question, knowing exactly why you're asking the question.
Yeah.
And then the other person's not real. They're like, because you're so easy to talk to.
Thank you.
And you're like, I nailed you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you have that.
Like ability.
Well, it's the intuitive ability, which I know you're a really good judge of character, and you also are an observer of people, so you read them.
Yes.
But it's also with the detective part is some of this you've learned in school, so you sort of bridge the two.
Right.
So you know how to, and I don't know that much. I don't really know anything about law, but this is what I'm hearing, like, take somebody down the rabbit hole. You can take them on a journey. And then what did you do? And then how did you do? Do you know what I mean?
I'm really good at deposition.
Oh, is that what it's called?
Yeah,
okay. I'm like, this is what you do. Okay. And then all of a sudden you're like, okay. Drink. You know what I mean? Like, done.
Yeah.
And they're like, what just happened? So that is like a strong, so it's really, you're in the perfect field.
Thank you.
For your talent for doing that. And so share with me a little bit about, so you are super intuitive. When you meet somebody, what are your like little intuitive feels? Like, do you hear things or see things?
No, I don't hear anything. Okay. I just really pick up on people's energy. And I always say it's a blessing and a curse because sometimes I feel like it'd be better off to not feel negative energy. I don't know if you ever have that experience. Do you ever have that experience?
Yes.
And so it's hard for me to be around a negative energy field, like of a person. And even if the person's acting not polite and being pleasant, if I pick up on a negative energy, I'm very protective of my own energy and my family's energy, my kids, everything like that. And so if I'm picking up on a negative energy, as I've gotten older, I've learned how to deal with it, but I'm really lucky to be in private practice because I do get to pick and choose my clients.
I was going to say that.
And it's never worth it. However much, when I was doing family law, however much they'd be willing to pay for my representation, it wouldn't matter to me if I felt a toxic energy. I would refer them to someone else.
Yeah, because you knew it was going to be a difficult situation, and that you already knew just by feeling that. And then do you ever feel, because it's hard. I mean, for me, it's like if it's like a quick encounter with somebody, then I know I'm like, okay, this is brief. Right. But I've already made like that assumption of like, this doesn't feel good. Yeah. And I don't care. They're smiling to my face, and they feel really icky, like where I need to go take a shower. Yeah. So I know that you probably, that's kind of similar. Yeah.
And it's also hard, I feel like, as a parent, you don't pick and choose your kids' friends, but all kids are basically nice. But you can't say the same for all moms. You know what I mean? So I'm pretty selective about who I'll be friends with, regardless of who my kids are friends with. And I had a friend that gave me good advice, just saying, like, be friendly to everyone. Her kid goes to a different private school than mine, but she's like, you don't need to invite them all into your home and, like, be besties with them. Keep people at a distance sometimes, but a polite distance. And that way it will be okay.
That's great advice. For me, I've had a couple challenges with that. I want to ask you about this. So, like with my son when he was little, right? This with the elementary school. And I'm nice to all the moms too. Yeah. But look, if you're in my face and you come at me and you anything to do with my kid, then I change. Yeah, all of a sudden, like, so there was one of the kids was calling my son like fat or something. I can't remember, something like that. And he was telling me, he's like following me around. I go, well, you know what you need to just say is like, hey, you know what? Let's take a break from being friends. I don't want to be, something like that, because he was just still. And then he's like, okay. And then, so the mom came up to me, and this was like outside the line, they're lining up to go in, right? And she's like, well, my son told me that your son said that he didn't want to be friends. And I said, oh, I think they're just taking a break. And she goes, said something, I don't remember what she said, but then her son was like saying something to my son, like yelling at him or something. I said, hey, why don't you guys just take a break? Yeah. And she goes, don't talk to mom, like went off on me. I go, hey, look. Yeah. This is what's happening. Like all of a sudden I turn into this mama bear.
Yeah, I do it too.
And I'm like, I tried to keep my cool.
I know. It's hard sometimes. I had a situation like that with a different mom at the school, and the teacher was telling me that her daughter was being unkind to mine. And I would try to give my daughter advice about how to be rude back to this girl. But it's my daughter that's with me today. She's really sweet. And she said, Mom, I can't be mean. She's like, it hurts me to be mean to someone else, even when they're being mean to me. So then, I spoke with the mom about it based on what the teacher had been sharing with me. And she was just like enjoying the situation. It was very strange for me. And she had requested our kids to be in the same class. So that's why it was so terrifying. It's a private school, so you can do that. And you can donate to the school, and they'll anyway, it's like a long story. But I had to go take active steps to like get my child away from this other child who was a year and a half older than my child. Yeah, they were in the same grade, which was problematic to begin with. And the mom would do weird things. Like on Halloween, she would say, let's go trick-or-treating together. And then like I had 2 daughters, so I'd be off with that daughter and her friends, yet the mom wouldn't tell me like where exactly to meet up. Like she was like playing games and lying to me a lot. And I had to like actually, like I tried to keep distancing, but I had to like break up with this mom essentially to get my child away from hers. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was.
It really
trust me, I get it. It's not the kids, it's the moms.
Yeah, it's the parents, exactly.
It's the parents, and they're like unassuming, and then all of a sudden, and I've heard so many stories from people, and it's great that you talk to your daughter and you try to like, I mean, we do the best I can, especially when they're young, like to give them those like tools of like, when you're feeling this way,
stand up for
yourself. This is a sign, like when your body's telling you like, like doesn't feel good, that's a sign where, hey, maybe you need to take a look at the situation, even if they're being nice to you. What is it that they're saying? Because kids will be like, well, they're nice. I don't know why. Well, a lot of the times, right? It's like what they're saying or what they're doing. So I bet your daughter has similar intuitive abilities.
She does.
And she's probably very empathetic.
Yes.
And she feels like she knows this other kid has some issues. So she doesn't want to hurt the other kid by saying something because she can feel that would hurt them, even though, that's, but I'm sure you're that way as well. But you've kind of learned.
Yeah, as you get older, you learn, what to do and how to kind of be indirect with people that are indirect to you.
Yeah, I'm still practicing.
Yeah,
I'm still. It's like a work in progress for me because I will blurt or like react.
Yeah.
Which I don't always like to do.
Yeah, I've tried to work hard on becoming less reactionary, which is always like a work in progress, I think.
It's easy to say, and then when it happens, you're like,
yeah,
right?
My natural instinct as an Aries is to be reactionary, so I've had to work hard on that.
I wonder if that's a Taurus thing too. Do you? I don't know too much about the
I think it is. I mean, my friends that are Tauruses are very like direct, which I appreciate.
I do
but
too,
they do. One of them, she is a lawyer as well, but she does like react and she's direct. And we don't really have a lot of problems with each other because we're just really direct with each other, and like we kind of appreciate that about each other.
Yeah, there's that transparency.
Yeah,
you're like, I know where you stand, and you know where I stand, and isn't that like relaxing? You're like, oh, instead of like, okay, you're looking at me, you're saying one thing, and I'm feeling that you're saying something else, and I can tell.
Exactly.
You know? So, are you when you with the family law? Are you focused on? Is it like what is family law specifically?
Sometimes divorces, sometimes child custody, sometimes both, and sometimes it's child custody without divorce, and sometimes it's divorces without children. So that's what I mean. I don't specialize in adoptions or other types of family law. So it can be hard. I mean, the easiest thing I've ever done is divorces with no children, when they weren't married very long and they didn't have a lot of assets, and they're kind of just like, hey, let's move on.
Right.
And they walk away smiling. Yeah. That's how you want it to be for everyone. But when there's children involved, and even if my client was the one that wanted the divorce and had already moved on, even though they shouldn't have, let's just say that, there's still tears involved sometimes, because like it's never exciting, especially when you have children with someone if they've been together a long time. Even 10, 15 years, it's never like the celebration they might think it's going to be at the end of the tunnel.
How did you decide that you wanted to, like, coming from all the, like, the entertainment stuff and the shows, how did you decide that this is what you wanted to do?
Like being an attorney. It was something I always thought about. There's a lot of attorneys in my family. Everyone's either like a surgeon or an attorney. And my brother is a lawyer as well. And so we went to law school together. My grandfather was a lawyer. And so it just was something I became interested in. And at the time I was working as a page at Paramount Pictures, actually.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Our episode was brought to you by Libra Lash and Lip.
When I decided to study for my LSAT and apply to law school, and I was thinking maybe entertainment law, because that seemed like a natural fit. But I worked at an entertainment law firm, and didn't take into account in this decision that it was boring, because I was not yet an attorney. I was a law student. So, of course, they gave me all the most boring things to do, like redlining contracts and drafting contracts, which I can't think of them more. I'm not a paralegal, so I don't enjoy that at all. And I didn't take into account, like, the attorneys were actually having fun and negotiating, doing much more interesting things.
Right.
So I thought, wow, entertainment law is so boring. Like, this is the most boring thing ever. So family law is going to be a lot more interesting, which it is. But there's also a lot more emotions involved as well. So it's tough. And I think I wrote entertainment media law off a little too soon, because I was young and I just didn't realize how they were giving me like the most boring things to do.
Have you ever thought about, like, this is super random, but this is like my intuitive antlers.
Okay.
This is super random. Like, I would have never, writing a script?
I was an English creative writing major in college at Emory, but I did like write one at one point in my screenwriting class. But I found it was so technical. Probably now there's an app and like AI that can do it for me.
I could see
it was very boring.
Actually, because you have a really good sense of humor.
Thank you.
You're funny, but you're smart, and you have a lot of stories. I think you could probably like have accumulation of all that and make a really funny script. I could see that.
That's an idea.
I don't know.
Sometimes I feel like I don't know how I was doing it when I was a creative writing major, because I could sit and write for hours. And I think just as time's gone on, like, all of our attention spans are so much shorter with social media and everything. But I do think it would be a cool thing if I could ever like make myself do that.
Or like something with children, like a children's
that would be fun
book
to do with my kids.
I could see doing something like that, but combining like with some of the law stuff and the creativity. And actually, it could be a really cool idea, now that I'm just talking about it, is kind of like what we were just talking about, which was children and like their personal relations, like at school, and like kind of a like, what would you do in? Because you could do that from a family law background.
I think that would be helpful. Yeah,
but in kids' language.
Yeah.
Like, what would you say if somebody was saying this? What could you say?
Yeah, and sometimes it's hard to know what to tell kids to do because, like, as a grown up, you can go there, but as a kid, like, they're like, I'll get in trouble if I do that. You know?
No, I said push her down hard. No,
yeah.
But I don't know. I just saw that what a cool, that could be like a really neat project for you and your daughter to do together, because it's very it's a lot of role play.
Yeah,
like you could cool. be right, and then or even a video. What could you say? What could you do?
And I have 2 daughters, and so one of them is like my one that's not here with me today. She's back in Houston, but she's naturally like the most popular girl, and like she can be. You know, no one's mean to her. Let's just say that. If we're talking, like when we are talking about the movie Mean Girls, she's definitely Regina, for sure. And like that's how she is at her school. But and then my younger daughter is really sweet. They're similar, but also very different. So sometimes I ask my older Holland what to do for advice. I'm like, I'm mad at this mom for. What should I do? Like one of her friends' moms, she's like, please don't scream at her. Okay. But like she knows what to do. So it would be kind of cool.
That is actually a really good idea.
It is. It might be good.
It's just kind of fun. Like a couple different generations because you've got the different ages.
Yeah.
But just because I just see that you have such a creative background, but then you also have the legal, and you're such a good mom.
Thank you.
And you spend so much time teaching her that what a gift to share with other people.
Yeah.
Because we all need, everybody needs help.
Right.
You know, and it's not like you said, it's never easy to know what to say.
It's really not. Sometimes even for me, like I won't say anything in the moment, and then I'll think back to like a altercation or to a situation, an encounter, or whatever you want to call it. Like I should have said this. You know, does that ever happen to you?
Oh,
like
all
in the moment
time.
You're taken aback. You know,
and then I'm like, gosh, it's really good. Why didn't I say that? Like it's like really good what you think of.
And you're like, oh my god, that would have been.
All I did was like my mouth hung open.
Yeah.
Or I did the like, you bet stop thing, because that just to shut them up real quick. That's another thing. But I'm passionate too.
Yeah.
But I don't have all the background that you have with the legal terms and stuff to know, because there are things you can and cannot do also.
Exactly.
So knowing what are our rights.
That's really important for people to know.
You know, so that's it was just an idea that popped out in my head, and you're such a, an intuitive, and your beautiful necklace that I complimented you on, that was your grandmother's.
My grandmother, she was very intuitive.
Beautiful. It's big too. It's like a big medallion.
It's an Aries. I can't wear it all the time because it does get heavy, but when I want her energy with me, I wear it because she wore it every day.
Yeah, that's like my mom's. I wear this all the time, every day.
Do you feel her energy?
And it gets to the point sometimes where it's too so hot.
Is your mom still alive?
No, she passed in 1996.
Wow, how you were young.
Yeah, I was like 22.
That's hard, right?
Yeah, and I would talk about this. And then my dad passed when I was 2.
Oh my gosh.
And I don't have any brothers or sisters.
So sad.
So it was basically, I always say, I was an orphan. Technically, I think it's 18 and under, right?
Right. But
so I was 22, but I still say I was an orphan.
How old were you when you met your husband?
Well, the first one that I'm divorced, I met him. I knew him. We were dating, but my mom died in 96, and I got married in 1998.
That often happens.
Yeah.
And then when people lose a parent, they get married. My mom lost her dad, and then her and my dad got married like within the same year.
Yeah. And a lot of it was because he has an amazing family. So I always joke, I'm like, I married him for his family, and then my son's amazing. Yeah. So I have no regrets.
How old is
that? He's 26.
Oh, so he's like becoming a man.
Yeah. So he's, and I try not to be like, well, you're a dad, It's like, he's like, that was a long time ago, Mom. I'm like, I know.
Yeah.
Makes me feel good. And all like the amazing attributes of my son. I'm like, well, you get that from me, and you get that from me too.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it was hard. It was hard, but yeah, having like the energy of my mom around, and I always tell people, it's so weird because my mom. This was back in like the 80s. My mom had a show on Cox Cable.
Oh my gosh.
And it was
what was it about?
It was called Working Smart, a women's guidebook to getting a job.
That's really cute.
Isn't that cute? So I have a picture of her like in a fur jacket. I'm like, okay, we don't do rabbit fur anymore, but she did a workbook for women to get back into the job force.
Where did you grow up?
In San Diego. So
cool.
It was in San Diego. So she has her little workbook, and she was on Cox Cable, her little show and everything.
That's awesome.
But she was also a travel writer, so we would not break in, but we would go up to hotels, and she had a business card. She goes, I'll write on your hotel, and then we would get like free room.
So she was like an influencer before they were influencers.
You know what? Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
so I'm like,
awesome.
I would be embarrassed, but now I'm like, you know what?
Now
we got a lot.
of
pool time at those nice hotels.
Yeah, totally.
You know, so it's
That's
like, do
really
you bring your grandmother? Like, what's her? She's passed.
Yeah, she passed away when I was 29, and she was just very cool, also, and ahead of her times. And she was always supportive of whatever I was doing in life and never judged me, which I loved about her so much.
Was she blonde too?
She had as long as I knew her hair was silver.
Okay.
But anyway, and I don't know. I just wish she could have met my husband. They were both from New York. She grew up in New York, and so did he. And they have the same sense of humor. But then the reason I wish they met is she never liked any of my ex-boyfriends, so I'd always take them to visit her. She was in Colorado. And the funniest time she ever had was I was dating this guy that my brother had introduced me to named Lewis. And my grandmother kept calling him Willis. And he said, no, my name's Lewis. And she said, it doesn't matter. You won't be around for long. Mm-hmm. She was right. But my dad agreed. It was his mom, but he agrees she would have really loved my husband. But anyway, she's the best.
Yeah, so she's around now, so she can see.
Well, she's passed.
No, but I meant she's around.
I think she knows.
Energetically, I mean.
Yeah,
when I talk about people that have passed, that I talk about them like they're here.
Yeah.
So people get confused. I'm like, they're around. They're like, no, they're not here. I'm like, well, yeah, they're actually here. But I feel the same way about my husband because it's like, and it was when my first marriage. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I literally got married with no parents.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Walk down there, I'm like, I don't have a dad to walk me, and I don't have a mom.
That's so hard.
Really hard. I mean, of course, the second time around was the same way. Mm-hmm. But the second time around, my son was around. So that was nice.
So he could walk you.
But I feel like you had a really close relationship with your grandma.
Yeah.
Like she would have been.
She was so fun.
The party, the life of the party.
She always was so funny. She had the best sense of humor. She reminds me a lot of Judge Judy's personality.
Oh, yeah.
Funny New York humor, quick-witted.
Always quick to respond.
Yeah, just so funny.
Yeah, I can hear Judge. She's funny.
Yeah.
She's like, well, wait, why did you do? You know what I mean?
Yeah, she's
get out of here.
Funny.
Well, you did. Super funny. But wow. Yeah. Well, sounds like you still have a connection with her.
Definitely. Yeah.
I wish we had more time because I feel like we could tell some more stories.
Totally.
But I encourage you to, I don't know why, to maybe think about doing the kids book or the kids project.
That would be fun.
With your daughter.
It would be cool.
I just think it would be. And you could even use puppets or something for the other kids. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A lot of theater stuff. Did you do theater too?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So that's what I'm seeing, theater.
And my children like to do theater also.
Okay. So
we're
something
a
like that.
Family.
I know. Well, thank you for coming.
Thank you
it was
for
great having you.
Me.
And until next time.
Definitely.
Everyone, thanks for tuning in. Today's episode was brought to you by Bell Boutique in Orange County.